Let's get this over with. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey guys, so my video is about the chemistry of cells, specifically human cells, which are also known as eukaryotes. The chemistry of cells is very important because it has allowed scientists to make many significant medical discoveries. So let's start with the basics. A cell is an organism which carries out metabolic functions to sustain life. Humans are multicellular, which means they are made of more than one cell. In each individual cell, there is a multitude of chemical reactions that occur. The percent mass of elements in the human body is shown here. As you can see, oxygen is the most abundant element by mass. That is mainly true because water accounts for most of a cell's weight, but I'll talk about water a little later. Other elements and compounds are in different locations and forms throughout the body. A cell is composed of many different compounds. Inorganic compounds in a cell are usually fairly simple molecules. Some examples are water, inorganic acids and bases, and different salts. The organic compounds are often more complex and have many specific properties. But don't worry, if you don't understand them, you can just look them up on Yahoo Answers. It is vital to understand the compounds in a cell because it will allow us to comprehend cells' functions. Shapes of molecules and polarity of bonds create many of the properties exhibited by a cell. Intermolecular forces also play a significant role as a result. Shapes, such as the double helix formed by DNA, ensure that a cell stays together and that everything inside stays where it needs to be and functions properly. If a protein or enzyme isn't the correct shape, it will not do its job, which could be very problematic for a living cell.
There's a song I wrote last summer. It's called Water.
A human is 65% water, which makes the molecule essential for life. Scientists carefully study water's properties and functions in a cell. An important characteristic of water is its hydrogen bonding, which allows it to be a liquid rather than a gas at room temperature. Another important characteristic of water is its polarity. Polar molecules and ions with charges can readily dissolve in water because of water's polar bonds. This is what creates hydrophilic and hydrophobic regions in a cell. Hydrophilic means water-loving and hydrophobic means water-hating. Most molecules in a cell are hydrophilic, but some molecules, mainly hydrocarbons, are hydrophobic. The hydrophilic interactions often exist so that solutes may dissolve and react in solution. One example is the polar molecule and waste product known as the urea. It is soluble in water due to the hydrogen bonds it forms with surrounding water molecules. Another property of water comes from the unit we all know and love, acids and bases. Most reactions in a cell have to be in a specific environment in terms of pH. Some specific pHs of the human digestive tract are shown here. They are different because cells have different functions in different parts of the body. A small shift in pH can change the concentration of an acid to its conjugate base or a base to its conjugate acid. This may create a dangerous environment in a cell. This picture shows different organic acids and bases along with their conjugate acid or base pair. As you can see, the concentrations change at certain pHs. Cells can only have a narrow range of concentrations before problems arise. To keep the pH at a stable level, a cell must have a buffer wherever the pH must remain almost constant. I would go into more detail about the buffer system, but something tells me that my grade on that test proved that I should not be the one teaching other people about buffers. I've been talking for a while, so I'm going to let Chemistry Cat teach you the first lesson of organic chemistry. Now, I'll teach you about organic chemistry.
I look forward to learning
about
our organic
chemistry
from
you,
the
expert
in
organic.
chemistry.
Excluding water, carbon makes up most of a cell. This is because most of the molecules in a cell are made of long chains of carbon. Many of them contain functional groups such as amines, carboxyl groups, and ketones. Organic molecules have a plethora of functions for a cell. There are even many distinct organic molecules for just one reaction. Usually, the reactions in a cell require one or more enzymes, which are also organic. Some important organic molecules for cells are shown here. All organic molecules are synthesized from and are broken down into the same set of compounds. Most of the organic compounds in a cell are in 4 different categories: sugars, fatty acids, amino acids, and nucleotides. All of the molecules that fall under one of these categories link with other molecules in the same category to form long chains. I will go over the rest of these molecules in more depth later in the video. Amino acids have this general structure. They are distinct because they have an amino group at one end and a carboxylic group at the other end. 5 different side chains can carry a charge. I showed this picture before, but now focus on the fact that on each side of the pH lines is either a charged molecule or a neutral molecule. Therefore, the ability for an amino acid to carry a charge is determined by the pH of the environment that it is in. A charge can change many properties. Most importantly, it can change if the molecule is hydrophilic or hydrophobic. When amino acids chain together, they form a protein. These proteins clump together due to intermolecular forces and fold into a 3-dimensional structure. This gives them a structural polarity rather than an electrical polarity. Their possible shapes are very diverse, which means their functions are also diverse. Proteins are responsible for most of the functions in a cell. They keep the cell organized, manufacture, clean waste, make reactions occur, and receive signals from outside the cell and execute them. Here's a video of a formation of a protein. So before you guys get more bored than Miss Stripminer in study hall, we're going to take a quick break and go to part 2.